Hello and welcome back to the channel. Hello Dominant, Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in this episode, we go back in time to review and give you the results and scorers of the Cronulla Sharks versus North Queensland Cowboys game. We bring you the results and scorers from Sydney Roosters versus South Sydney Rabbitohs in the derby. Tim Lafai, what a 12 months he has. I tell you a little story about him. Plus, the RFL have upset an entire league about accepting Toulouse. So we'll begin today with the Salford Red Devils centre, Tim Lafai, as an interesting piece was written up about him, and I want to elaborate a little bit more on the piece and share it with you, because the player has been fantastic. And his story is one of those that people think of Roy of the Rovers with, if you know your soccer comics in the UK. Lafai is 31-year-old and was working on a building site last year to make ends meet, but his revival of his career after moving to the UK with Salford, firing them into the playoffs and earning a dream team spot. He had a sliding doors moment, but Salford's Tim Lafai hopes to blow the doors off on his way to a Super League Grand Final. The explosive centre lined up for the Salford Red Devils as they faced Huddersfield on Saturday, which they won the elimination playoff to go on to play St Helens. He was named in the Dream Team last week, with clubmates Brodie Croft here second left and Tim Lafai seen on the far right. I mean Kencio on the far right with Tim Lafai 2 in, either side of Alex Walmsley. This is after a stellar campaign and brilliant debut campaign for Paul Rowley's free-flowing side, but his form is all the more remarkable given when Lafai joined Salford in January, he'd been out of the sport full-time, a lot more than a year. In September 2020, Lafai was one of 8 players who were told that they would be released by Canterbury at the end of the 2022 NRL season, and he signed a part-time contract the following February with the Canterbury Cup New South Wales side that Parramatta runs for the 2021 season. It was reported then in December that he went on to sign for Salford, which this campaign shows his true form. But the 31-year-old failed to earn an NRL contract back home and thought his rugby league career was over. And the father of 4 recalled what he had to do to make ends meet while at Canterbury's in the Canterbury Cup. 12 months ago, I was holding a stops below sign, doing traffic control and labouring. I was working 6 days a week, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go wherever the job needed. There were 12-hour days, and days where I wouldn't see my kids, which was the reason I chose to come here. I get downtime with my kids now, and it's the little things like dropping them off at school or spending time with them on their birthdays. I was going through a dark time last year, and it was pretty tough. I'd certainly never imagined myself being where I am now with Salford and in the Dream Team. I'm truly honoured. But the ex-Canterbury and ex-St George Illawarra star even surprised himself with how good he's been, scoring 6 tries, making 14 assists, and leading the competition with 49 offloads. Lafai said, "I'd always known I had it in me, but I was finding the love and the passion again. Back in my NRL career, it was more of a chore, and I wasn't enjoying it. Having a year off has given me the love and passion back. It showed me I really missed doing what I loved. Coming over here, I'm really enjoying the kind of rugby the boys are playing at Salford. It suits my style, and you can see that out on the field. It was definitely a sliding doors moment coming here. I was looking at the pros and cons with my wife, and I'm glad we made the right decision." Every now and again we see these fantastic stories come alive players going out of the game for a year, not knowing if they will be able to play rugby league again, or any sort of rugby. He was playing amateur, more or less, in the New South Wales Cup. I'm not saying that derogatory, but the chance to earn money playing rugby league full-time is a draw for any player who has been a little bit down on their luck. Tim has took the opportunity, and the gamble worked off for him and his family. They're doing well, and we're likely to see him again in Super League next season, if other clubs don't come along and poach him. It's been that good. He's supported in the attack with Salford's flying wingers and Brodie Croft on the inside, and he helps out well on the defensive side. What's not to love for that type of centre? We'll have to see how they go against St Helens next time out, but they've earned the right to be there, so they're going to earn the right on the pitch to prove that they are competitive against the League Leaders Shield winners of 2022. Toulouse's relegation was confirmed a couple of weeks ago, and they will be going down into the Championship after their relegation from Super League. But the RFL has angered a number of Championship clubs after extending Toulouse Olympique's participation agreement by 1 year. Rugby League Live revealed that Toulouse's current agreement that allowed them to play in the RFL league structure was set to expire at the end of this year. But it's been renewed for another 12 months, meaning that they will be granted entry to the second tier next season following their relegation to the Super League. This, however, has frustrated a number of English-based clubs currently in the competition who have no desire to entertain the 2021 Championship winners. As is the case in Super League, the French detractors cite the lack of away support and commercial benefits, plus their own costs are involved in travelling to France. Relegation to the Championship has been confirmed, but they have already stated they will continue to pay cost of flights for their English opponents. It remains unclear whether Toulouse receive a parachute payment from the RFL or Super League. The RFL has been asked for comment from Rugby League Live as well about this. For months, clubs have been discussing Toulouse's future in the competition should they be relegated, with many prepared to vote them out if given a say. However, they have now been informed by the governing body that they will be part of the structure next year, despite not being consulted. Sources at the RFL say the decision to extend the licence is to allow IMG to work through the findings and make a considered decision on the future of French clubs in the game. The recent fan survey consultant with the release of the Rugby League's new strategic partner had a number of questions of the French game. One Championship official who wished to stay anonymous on the subject said, "The RFL know if they asked clubs for their opinion or given them a vote, they would have been told to allow them to continue participating next season. We weren't given a chance to vote or even consulted, and the clubs are angered because they feel this has all been done behind their backs." Well, I'm going to respond in one of the ways that I think should be addressed. This is my opinion, not anything else. Sometimes getting everyone in a room and giving them a vote in the RFL is like herding cats. They will never agree on anything, and the majority of them are only about their own self-interest. They're thinking about their own bottom line and not looking at ways how to diverse that bottom line, increase their income, increase the fans that coming in through the door, inviting local clubs to come down, but they won't. Cost them too much money to do that on their own back, despite the long-term benefits of having more people through the door. The shortfall with more people through the door will get them coming back in other games, which you will make up the shortfall in income with return business. You've just got to keep that repeat business interested. And that is your problem. You don't know how to. And the second point that I would think, the RFL are the governing body. They are the ones that make the rules. You complain when they don't make rules, or the rules are too strict, but now you're not consulted on the rules. You're complaining about that. Goodness me. I love rugby league, but sometimes they need to get out of their own way, these clubs, and look at the broader span. If they're worrying about their attendances, they need to look at their own reason why attendances are going down. It's not because of away fans. Those 50 people that come on a away bus from, say, Workington that goes to London, it's not going to make too much difference for a London club, or even a Cumbrian club. Most of that money goes to the pie and beer dispensers rather than the club. It's an argument that they are being petty over. They want more away fans coming, yes, because the shortfall in their home fans leaves them to ridicule. And they have to do something about that, but they don't want to do that. There's a word for that. I'm not saying that's the case because they're probably working within a constraint, but it's laziness. Be creative. Grow your club before your club closes. There are too many in trouble, too many floating around with no permanent fit place to play. You'll see the ones with their own stadiums topping the league soon. It's time for the rugby league clubs to get out of their own way and look at the ways that they can grow their own team instead of being on the financial shortfall, and be in their own pockets. Salary cap does wonders for rugby league clubs, as most of them will make a profit because of a salary cap. It goes to about 75% of their total earnings, and including TV money, everything that comes in, they still make a 25% profit. That's why Super League clubs love rugby league and moan when TV money goes down. They're not making profit, not looking in ways of how to make profit. Tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comment section below. It's just my opinion and my thoughts, but looking on the outside and not speaking to clubs. We're coming to the end of the episode, but first of all we have to do some paperwork, as we need to catch up with the Cronulla Sharks versus North Queensland Cowboys that happened on Saturday. The winner going on to the semi-finals and the loser going on to a last chance saloon game. The Sharks and Cowboys have been two of the biggest success stories of 2022, after finishing 9th and 15th respectively last season, and Saturday night's winners will move within one game of the grand final. Under the astute guidance of new coach Craig Fitzgibbon, the Sharks have gone from 10 wins in 2021 to 18 wins this year, locking up the home final with their away victory over the Knights on Sunday. The Cowboys also started fresh in 2022 with a new coach in Todd Payton, and their turnaround from 7-17 last year to 17-7 has been nothing short of remarkable. That's wins first, losses second. So, 17 wins this year, 7 losses. Anyway, both sides are entitled to be full of confidence as they enter the finals, but it's the Sharks who will go in as slight favourites on the back of a home ground advantage and a 26-12 win over the Cowboys in Townsville back in round 18. So, how have the two coaches named their sides? So here are the teams for the match which is sure to be an excellent one. Sharks have no late changes to the side named on Tuesday. Centre Siosifa Talake has overcome an ankle injury and will play. And there are 4 big in the sides from last week, with Lockdale Finucane, fullback Will Kennedy, prop Toby Rudolph, and winger Connor Tracy all back on deck after suffering injuries. Cameron McInnes and Braden Hamlin-Uele revert to the bench after starting last week. For the Cowboys, Coach Payton has opted to start Tom Gilbert in the second row and move Luciano Leilua back to the bench in an otherwise unchanged side from last Tuesday. Cohen Hess returns from his 1-game suspension, while Tom Dearden got through his return unscathed and will play in a protective box once again. And what a game it was, as the game finished 32 points to 32 the Cowboys, despite neither side being separated at any point until golden point extra time. The try scoring started on the Cowboys side with Tom Dearden scoring on the 7th minute, with Toby Rudolph equalising for the Sharks. Siosifa Talake scored on the 24th minute, with Tom Dearden scoring a great try on the 28th minute. Will Kennedy got on the end of some great play and a great run by Mulitalo to score near the post, before Peta Hiku scored on the 30th minute. Or should that be the other way around? Anyway, at half-time it was 18 points all, and we're still going to go through the scoring. Maritulagi scored the first points of the second half with a try, before Cameron McInnes went over for the Sharks. Will Kennedy made it a double on the 66th minute, but a penalty by the boots of Valentine Holmes kept the Cowboys in it. Plus, this was off the back of a Connor Tracy sin bin, as he tackled Holmes as he was in the motion of scoring. May not have got there, but he couldn't stop. He couldn't tackle him and stop an attempt for him to try and get the ball. And Jason Tamalolo squared things up on the 79th minute, as well as the boot of Valentine Holmes, to send us into extra time at 30 points all. Extra time came and went, and we were left with golden point extra time, where Valentine Holmes scored a 2-point drop goal from about 45 metres out to win it for the Cowboys. Yes, the Sharks have another attempt at the staying in the tournament next time, but the Cowboys go on to face the winners of one of the finals. So Saturday sees 2 fantastic games which are do or die. First of all, we had the Storm getting beaten by the Raiders, and now the second game, Sydney Roosters facing the South Sydney Rabbitohs, the debut of the local rivalry, shall we say, and the debut playoff game that is going to be played at the new Allianz Stadium. After christening the stadium in front of a full house on Friday night, the Foundations clubs meet again, with the winner marching on and a loser left to plan for 2023. A number of stars were left battered and bruised after the round 25 clash, and were racing against the clock to be fit for Sunday's return bout. Well, Saturday's return bout, shall we say that? Regardless of who takes the field between the 6th and 7th team, it is guaranteed to be tense, tough, and emotional. And emotions are sure to run high if the last 114 years of the competition between the two sides is anything to go by. So with that, here are the two teams. Daniel Tupou with the groin injury in the last game, and Joseph Suwali with a shoulder injury are set to return after missing last week's game. Lock Victor Radley returns from concussion 2, with Siosua Takiyaho going back to prop and Matt Lodge to the bench. Prop Jared Wahira-Hargreaves has a hamstring injury, and Sam Verrills, with a finger problem, have been named despite suffering the injuries in round 25. For the Rabbitohs, skipper Cameron Murray has suffered a head knock in round 25, remained in the squad at the 24-hour update, with no changes to the squad named on Tuesday. Hooker Damien Cook returns after overcoming COVID, so Siliva Havali goes to the interchange, with Peter Mazulis dropping out. Star centre Campbell Graham is also back on deck after a head knock, pushing Jackson Paulo down to the reserves list. And it was the Rabbitohs who went home with the win, just a short trip away, with a 30 points to 14 victory, which had as many sin binnings as there was tries to the game, both numbers in favour of the Rabbitohs. The game started off white hot, with the crowd up for this game in this local derby elimination playoff, and it was taken to another level when Victor Radley was sent to the sin bin on the 4th minute, when a melee ensued and he was accused of throwing a punch. The 13 men took advantage of the 12 men as Alex Johnson went over a minute after the Radley sin binning. Despite being down to 12, the next scorers were the Roosters, as they went through twice. First of all, on the 9th minute through Angus Crichton, and Daniel Tupou on the 12th minute. There was a further sin binning. Well, there was further 2 sin binnings, as Thomas Burgess was sent to the sin bin for a second high shot in as many minutes, which was followed by his teammate Tane Milne, the right winger, going high on his opposite number to find himself sitting down for 10 minutes. Despite being down to 11 men against 13, the Rabbitohs held out for the rest of that set and went even better, with Latrell Mitchell going in for a try on the 22nd minute. That was all the scoring in the first half, and the Rabbitohs led 12 points to 8 due to the boot of Latrell Mitchell. Talk about him a little further on. After half-time had completed, Alex Johnston went over for the Rabbitohs to score his second try of the game. Another sin binning occurred on the 50th minute when Jared Wahira-Hargreaves went over the top with his tackle, saying that the referee saying he slammed his Thomas Burgess' head into the ground when completing the tackle, grabbing him round the head in a headlock motion. This gave another chance for the Rabbitohs to score, and on the 51st minute they did so, with Jai Arrow going through untouched. Nat Butcher scored on the 54th minute for the 12 men, and more sin binnings happened after that, with Tavita Tatola sent to the bin for pushing the opponent's face down in the ground when the opponent had committed a mistake to give the ball up to the Rabbitohs. The ensuing melee saw Victor Radley, who was deemed to be the instigator of the melee, was sent to the sin bin for 10 minutes to cool down the teams yet again. But Tane Milne went over the top in a tackle, and he was sent to the bin yet again on the 65th minute. The game closed out on scoring, with Isaiah Tass going through after throwing a dummy to get past the Roosters' last line of defence to score on the left edge. Latrell Mitchell scored 5 from 5 conversions, keeping his head during the entire game, and also helping out with 2 fantastic try-saving tackles. One with the grab around the ankles, which was a one-on-one tackle, a very good one, and another where he wrestled the Roosters centre into touch when he was definitely outnumbered. The Rabbitohs go on to week 2. And the Roosters have to setting up for next season. So here is how the playoffs go for the next round of elimination games. The Rabbitohs, will cover them first, play Cronulla Sharks after their loss to North Queensland Cowboys the day before. The Cowboys have to wait to see if they face the Parramatta Eels or the Canberra Raiders in the next round, while the Panthers await the Rabbitohs or the Sharks in week 3. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode in the comment section below. There's a lot to go through, I know, but that's why it's there. There's no minimum characters on that, I'm sure. Tell me what your thoughts are on Tim Lafai's story. It's been a good one for the Super League season. That's why I wanted to bring it to you. Also, the Toulouse situation. Do you think the Super League, the RFL club committee member, I don't know what's the best way to put it, is genuine for what he said or what they said? I'm not sure. Do you think the RFL would have kept Toulouse in the competition if the clubs voted on it? I would say no. But the RFL have made the right move, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I will now wish you all the best. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.